Mount Maddsen. And if you guys have watched any of my Timberland boot reviews that I've done before, you know that I'm not a huge fan of Timberland boots in general. Now, their flume were pretty decent, but still nothing really special. However, looks like Timberland changed their game with this boot, because I actually am a fan of these. They're comfortable, they're lightweight, the toe box fits very nicely, they're very budget friendly. $89.93 currently on Amazon. Now the prices can change depending on the color, depending on the size. The link is in the description below if you want to check it out and stay up to date on the price. More than 400 reviews already and growing pretty rapidly. Whenever I got them, they were at like 390 something. As of today, they are 450 reviews and almost 5 stars. So people do like them. Like I said, they're comfortable, they're lightweight, and I do have some favorite features on these boots, which we're going to talk about later in the review. So if you do have some 10-15 minutes to watch the whole review, let's get into it. As some of you already know, this review is specifically for my ultimate survival boots section. Basically, if this was your last pair of boot that you put on and something really bad happened, you know, war, natural disaster, whatever, you had to walk out of your house, run out of your house, and wear these boots for days, walk for days, maybe run, maybe climb, maybe even fight to survive, you know, whatever you have to do to survive, right? Would this be a good pair of boot as your, you know, survival boot? So, how do we make the judgment? Well, we judge based on 8 different criteria. Criteria number 1 is, of course, the comfort level, one of the most important things. So, like I said, these boots are comfortable, and there are a few factors that contribute to this factor. So, let's start, get it out of the way, the weight. You know, people are always interested in weight. This is the size 10, and I will tell you exactly how much one boot. $17.95, and a little bit of glare, you cannot see. $17.95. So this is very good. Anything below 20 ounce per one boot is really nice. You don't really, your mobility, your speed is not really affected by the weight, and on long distances you are not really affected. Now, the tests that I usually do to test the comfort level is a 5-mile walk and a 3-mile run, and usually it's back to back without any stopping, without taking any breaks. The total wear time is about 8 hours. These boots, like I said, they are comfortable, and as you can see, $17.95, almost 18 ounce per boot is really good weight, and on long distances like this you don't really get tired quickly, because the more weight you have on you, the faster you get tired, especially whenever it comes to running. Now, another thing, another criteria, not the criteria, but the the factor that contributes to that comfort level is, of course, the inner sole and how much impact it can take. Now, this is a very basic inner sole. There's really nothing special, although it is very similar to the Ortholite. It's also anti-fatigue, and as you can see, the bottom of it does have some inlays to kind of give you a little bit more of that cushioning, as well as you can see there's a shape to to hold your heel in place, and it really does help, especially whenever you're running. So in that department, very good. Now, the toe box is one of my favorites. Now, a lot of people, they prefer more room in the toe box. I personally prefer a little bit of a tighter fit in the toe box, not in the front but on the sides, kind of to give you that feeling, that wraparound feeling that holds your foot in place. It helps whenever you're running. It also helps whenever you're walking down the hill. It holds your foot in place without letting it kind of slide forward and have your toe bang on the front of the toe box, because that's what really gets you tired, gets you fatigued very, very quickly. So this is more of a tighter fit, and I do like it. Okay, so done with the criteria number 1. The comfort level, like I said, is very good, very easy to run. As you can see, the bottom sole is fairly flexible too, which we're gonna talk more about later. But this factor also contributes to the comfort level. It allows for proper running because you can use your tippy toes for running and not put too much stress on your ankles, on your knees. Pretty good in that. Now, criteria number 2, which is proofing and protection. Now, these boots are waterproof, nothing fancy, not Gore-Tex, not anything like that. This is actually Timber Dry, which is Timberland's own waterproofing technology, and it does work fairly well. As you can see, it has a gusseted tongue, so it has kind of like a booty from about 4.5 inches. So if you step in a creek that deep, you will be nice and dry. Pretty good in that department. Now, whenever it comes to the protection, there isn't really much going on anywhere. This is 100% leather, so obviously the material itself is gonna be more well, not really scratches, because this is leather. It's, as you can see, it scratches fairly easily, right? The design itself, the way it looks, the way the boot looks, is gonna get messed up pretty quickly because it is leather. But at the same time, it gives you a little bit more protection from impact and from stuff like that, just because leather has those good qualities, good protective qualities. Now, the toe obviously is not reinforced. It's not a steel toe or anything like that. I kind of wish that this harder rubber was going a little bit up more of the toe to just give you that extra protection on the front. The ankles are not reinforced either. There's just the leather. There's really no padding or anything like that extra added. Now, the heel, however, does have that extra material going here, which is pretty good. Like I said, I wish that material was present here on the front to give you that extra protection here as well. Okay, so let's move on to the criteria number 3, which is quality and the design features. Now, quality wise, like I said, there are over 450 reviews currently on Amazon and almost 5 stars. So people do like the quality of this boot. Now, Timberland, whenever it comes to quality, Timberland, they tend to do a pretty good job overall. I personally wasn't a fan in the previous versions, like I said, because of some design features, the comfort level, and the fitment. This has no problems with it. Quality wise, Timberland is pretty good. Now let's talk about the design features and a few of my favorite things. I am a very, very big fan of the lacing system. It is so nice and smooth. It's so easy to put them on and so fast to tighten them because they utilize this metal hardware everywhere, which allows for the lace, the strings, which as you can see are flat, to just slide through them so nicely without any problems, and I really do like it. I personally think, because this is a survival, ultimate survival boot review, I think that's an important factor. You want to be able to put on your boots as quickly as possible, right? Why do you have a boot if you don't have enough time to put it on, right? So this is definitely where these boots do shine. As you can see, it features the open hooks at the top, 2 pairs of those, and I think that's a good thing to have whenever it comes to the hiking boots. This is a hiking boot after all. It is good because whenever you are walking up or down the hill and you need to quickly release the tension, you can definitely do that because you have open hooks on the top. Now, some people are not fan of those open hooks. They prefer closed hooks, but I think it's a matter of preference. I think it's a good thing to have. Okay, so let's move on to the criteria number 4, the outsole, traction, and stability. Okay, so as I said, the outsole itself is fairly flexible, which allows you, it makes it fairly simple to properly run in this boot, which is pretty good. Now, whenever it comes to the aggression and the flatness, the balance between the two, I think Timberland did a fairly good job. Now, I definitely seen worse. This is not bad. I wish this rubber, the bottom layer of the rubber, was a little bit of a harder rubber, just to not have that play, because that play can actually negatively impact your traction, especially on flat surfaces like tile. Marble, concrete, for example, not that slippery, but still, Now, I personally tested these boots on several different surfaces. I tested them on newer tarmac, older asphalt. I tested them on the wet grass, dry grass. I tested them on the sand, on the rocky road, trail, just regular trail, just dry grass mixed with sand, mixed with rocks, some branches. I tested them on the tile, on the marble. And overall, these boots do perform fairly well. I kind of wish that there were some ridges going on here and here on the sides, just to give you that extra support, not really support, but extra grip whenever you are climbing. For example, climbing a rope, climbing a tree, you do use these parts of the boots. And as you can see here, there isn't really much anything going on. But overall, this is a pretty good balance of aggression and flatness, so it kind of gives you a pretty good balance on different surfaces. Not bad at all. So let's talk about the criterion number 5, the temperature. I've tested them in the Florida heat. It was 90 something degrees whenever I was testing them. They are definitely very nice and breathable, so if you consider buying them for summer days, not gonna be a problem at all, because they're definitely breathable. Very, very good. I was not overheating in them at all. And obviously, because they're waterproof, because they're leather, there isn't really any insulation at all. But if you get some nice insulated socks to go with these boots, you can definitely get away in some cold winter temperatures with these boots as well. And because, like I said, they are waterproof, you can definitely use them in the snow. Now on ice, guys, let me know if you have experience with these boots. Whoever's watching the review, if you have experience with these boots on ice and you know how they handle on ice, drop the comments below. They will be very helpful for everyone who's watching this video. Okay, so let's talk really quickly about the criterion number 6, which is the sizing. The sizing is definitely good. These boots are true to the size. Now my size, shoe size, is 9.5, but I always recommend getting half a size bigger for your hiking boots, for your boots purposes, because it gives you that extra little bit of space, and you will thank me on the way down. If you're walking down the hill, you definitely want that extra space. So like I said, so that your toe is not smashing in the front of the toe box, because it will be very painful. Makes sense. Okay, the criterion number 7, the balance of application. Basically, if this really was your last boot that you put on and something bad really did happen and you had to run, walk, would this be a good boot in all of these different situations, different scenarios, different temperatures, different climates, different terrains? I think it's a really, really good option. Now, I already talked about this being very nicely balanced with the outsole, the comfort being very good and all of that. But here in this criterion, I wanted to mention another very important factor that you don't really think, and I don't really talk about a lot in my reviews. It's the looks. It's the looks, yes. It's definitely doesn't really do anything for your survival, but hear me out here. Whenever it comes to your survival situations, obviously something's gonna happen unexpected, right? You might not have a chance to go home and change to your ultimate survival boot if you're wearing, for example, your dress shoes or your sneakers, whatever. The advantage of this boot over a lot of different boots that I review on this channel is that they look very much like a decent everyday boot. Very, what's the word, inconspicuous? I don't know if that's the right word to use. You can wear them to a date, right? Why not? You can wear them to a nightclub with jeans. Looks pretty decent. You can wear them to work with some decent khaki pants, depending on where you work, of course. But you can wear them to the grocery store and not feel weird about yourself, not like you're wearing anything tactical, post-apocalyptical, like something weird that is attracts unnecessary attention, right? This is not the type of boot that attracts unnecessary attention. This is a decent everyday boot that you can wear pretty much anywhere. And this is a huge advantage, because the boot that you can wear the most and wear most of the times, right, is probably going to be the boot in your ultimate survival situation. So what I'm saying is you can have a fancy ultimate survival boot in the house, right? But you will probably end up wearing something that you're wearing right now. And this is the boot that you can be wearing right now because you can wear it anywhere. I think this is a huge advantage. Again, guys, always open for discussion. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this specific idea of mine, right? Okay, so let's really quickly talk about the price. Like I said, the price is currently a little bit below 90 bucks, $89 depending on the size, depending on the color. There are actually 3 different colors. They're all brown. There's a darker brown, there's a lighter brown, available on Amazon. The link is in the description below if you want to check it out. Take a look. Almost 450, not almost, 450, more than 450 reviews on Amazon already, and growing. More than 4 stars, almost 5 stars. So definitely people do like these boots. For $89, I think this is a really good option. And the competitors in this price range would be something like Columbia Newton Ridge Plus 2, which I was a huge fan of. They were my substitute for the 2019 Ultimate Survival boot. Yes, they are that good. They're really good. And this boot can actually be very well in a competition because if I remember correctly, the Columbia Newton Ridge Plus, they are not the real leather. This is 100% leather, so definitely an advantage there. So let me know in the comments below, guys, what you think about these boots. Would you consider them as your ultimate survival boot? Would you consider them as, you know, your regular hiking boot? This was Timberland Mt. Maddsen. Huge fan of this boot so far. And you've been watching Firearms of America. If this review was useful, please subscribe. This will be very helpful. Still a growing channel. Definitely an advantage there. So let me know in the comments below, guys, what you think about these boots. Would you consider them as your ultimate